Today I'm cooking healthy lasagna, and you can see I have my lasagna pan, and in the pan I have the multi-grain noodles, and this one's by Healthy Harvest, and these ones you don't have to boil. If you boil them ahead of time and stick them in your pan, you're going to end up with very soggy noodles, and you're going to have mush as lasagna, so don't even boil them, just stick them in the pan. And then I have Prego. And the thing that I check with my sauces is how much sodium's in it, how much fat, and how much sugar. And this sodium was the least amount of sodium I could find as far as the sauces where I was shopping. So I'm going to line the bottom of my pan and my noodles with a little bit of the Prego. And then I don't use ricotta cheese. Ricotta cheese is very high in sodium too. And if you are high risk for high blood pressure, or you already have high blood pressure, you're going to stay away from foods that contain high amount of sodium. I have a little bit of Parmesan, the freshly shredded Parmesan that I'm going to put in to replace the ricotta, and some mozzarella cheese I also put in there. And then what I've done is I've chopped up some vegetables ahead of time. And I've chopped up peppers, and I've chopped up onions, and I use my onion chopper for that. And I use that absolutely every day. It's a great little investment. So I have these already chopped up, so I'm going to throw some of those on there. And I also have a can of low sodium diced tomatoes that I'm going to throw in. And I try to have it spread out evenly. And then I've cooked ahead of time hamburger. And what I did with my hamburger is I put a little bit of taco seasoning in there just to add a little bit of flavor, a little bit of salt and pepper. And I'm also going to put that in my pan here. And that takes about 10 minutes to cook it. I cook it a little bit ahead of time. So turkey meat, of course, we're not going to use regular hamburger because it's high in fat. And if you don't tell your husbands or your kids, they'll never know the difference. Okay, and then the other thing I'm going to use today is I have some spinach that it's about to go bad, so I want to use it up before it goes bad. So I'm going to put some spinach in there, and we'll put that right on top. Just like that. And then I go ahead and get my second layer of noodles. Oh, I'm sorry. I also have black beans. And most people don't put black beans in their lasagna, but I just am a big fan of black beans. It's high in protein. It has a lot of trace minerals, and it's good building blocks for muscle building. And I think it makes your lasagna taste a lot better, but it's your preference. If you're not a fan of black beans, you don't have to put those in there. Okay, so then I'm putting on my second layer of noodles. And as you're making this, you're going to put on your second layer. You're going to do everything that I just did again. Then on your top layer of noodles, you're going to put some sauce over top the top layer. Make sure that all the noodles are covered with sauce. If they're not, you're going to have some hard pieces in your lasagna after it's cooked, and that's not fun. And then I put just a little bit of mozzarella and a little bit of shredded Parmesan on the very top layer on top of the sauce. I cover mine with tin foil. It cooks better, and it keeps it from boiling over most of the time. If it does boil over, use a cookie sheet underneath your pan if you've got it stacked real high. Sometimes the juices from your vegetables will make it a little juicier, and it will overflow. So to keep the mess out of the bottom of your oven and having to clean later on, make sure you put a cookie sheet underneath. And I'm going to bake this for about 45 minutes or till the noodles are tender. And you'll go ahead and just take a fork or a knife and see if they're tender. So go ahead and try this. Don't be afraid to be creative with your recipe. If you don't like black beans, you put other vegetables in it. And again, if you're not a fan of spinach, You don't have to put spinach in it. Enjoy.